Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-do!
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, look.
Look who decided to show.
Wait, he's not here yet.
Beep beep doop boop boo doo boop
I
boop
don't see
boop
any
boop
camera.
boo doop boop boo boo boop 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 boo bang bang.
Ding, 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 ding.
Beep beep.
Good old Crash Man.
You bet it is. And his mic's not working. Yeah, we can't hear you, dude.
We cannot hear you.
We do not hear you.
Do you understand the words coming out of my mouth?
And nobody understands the words that are coming out of your
And
mouth.
we're not getting any video either.
No,
I'm seeing
I've seen video.
I see video too.
Yeah, I see
I
video.
see no video.
Oh, really? I see him. I just don't hear him.
Nobody knows.
Oh, trouble I've seen.
Nobody knows.
My sorrow.
I still don't see him.
We're going to take that on the road, Greg. That was pretty good. Oh, boy.
Can
boy.
can the people in chat see him?
Yeah, people are saying they can see Ethan. I can see in the video that Ethan's moving around. I mean,
Yeah.
Blair got the Princess Vespa reference. That's great.
Yeah. He's clearly frustrated, Ethan. he does not know what to do.
He'd be the only one. I'm not frustrated.
No.
What?
No, we cannot hear you, Ethan. Doesn't matter how close to the mic you get. We can't hear you.
Speak slower.
That's not how sound works.
Is your mic muted? Please check it.
Is your mic muted?
Please check if your mic is physically muted.
Is your mic plugged in?
Oh,
Can you hear me?
Oh my God,
Wow.
his mic wasn't plugged in.
it's on.
Okay.
By the way,
All right.
Ethan, that'll be
No, what?
$48.50 for the tech support.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that was
Unplug it and
that was
plug it
strange.
back in again.
Wow.
It
Yeah,
wasn't
no, I
strange.
mean the thing
Your mic
is it
wasn't
was also
plugged in.
it was
not strange.
also the mic was a loose connection. So I've gotten that
You're a loose
fixed
connection.
with the
Yeah.
light standing on, but my mic is a little bit fucked up. So
Oh,
Um,
see,
This is a
now
family
you-
stream.
This is it.
Man, the damage
Here we
you've done
go.
in the last 30 seconds is just
You know, they
Um,
may approve of that salty language at Nvidia,
yeah,
but here we're trying to run a family operation.
yeah,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
Not really.
honestly, being on Power Pros this past week, it was uncomfortable the amount of F-bombs that Chris Hoffman was throwing. I had to really ask him to back down a little bit.
Tone it down.
Yeah.
Then he was all like, "But I won't back down."
Yes.
Yes, I'm
that's-
talking about Mario. You guys
Yes.
talking about Mario? Is that what it was? Was it a big-
yes.
big Mario
We're
show.
talking about Mario and other things. Yeah.
Mario and other things.
Sex.
Sound dirty. I like what I hear. It's a me. Hey.
Yikes. Yikes.
All right. So now that things are working,
Now that we're 40 minutes late, let's start.
yeah.
Yeah.
So sorry about that, guys.
No problem. Hey, Ethan, you want to do a clap with me real quick?
Sure. I'm recording now. Should I restart recording?
What?
Yes.
Wait,
All
is
right,
he
give me a
recording?
You
Wait,
guys shouldn't. Phil and
I
Greg,
know, I'm not.
Keep going.
Okay. Just give me a sec.
Wait, did you say you were recording?
I had started recording, but yeah, I'm
Oh.
okay. I am now on a fresh track. We're good.
Okay, good.
Do we
Yeah,
all
no.
need to clap?
No,
Okay.
unless you want to.
You know what? I like clapping.
You know what? I'm gonna do it.
clap.
I'm gonna
All
do
right.
it.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, jeez.
That was lovely.
Yes.
Lovely.
Beautiful.
There we go.
Hello and welcome to episode 604 of the Player One podcast for Tuesday, June 5th, 2018. I'm your host, Chris Johnston. With me, as always, from Canada, Mr. Greg Seward.
Hello.
How you
It
doing?
was light out there when we started recording.
Oh, boy.
It was. You're right.
Yeah.
And joining me from the great state of Washington, Mr. Phil Theobald.
I've been sitting here for 40 minutes waiting for our show to start.
To be fair, 38 minutes.
No, I was here about 2 minutes early.
Yeah.
And that other voice you're hearing from the great state of California, Mr. Ethan Einhorn. Hello.
Hey, gents. Good to be back on a guest episode here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming back for this. I hear that you've got podcast plans.
Yep.
Not on this show, but
talk about it. But we got some things cooking that we'll talk to you guys about sooner rather than later.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Speaking of podcasts, I was in Las Vegas this past week.
Fabulous Lost Wages.
Fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada, and got to hang out with Mr. Paul Mattingly.
Nice.
And was on an episode of Matt and Mattingly's Ice Cream Social.
I listened to that, and I gotta say, a little disappointed that nobody else's name got mentioned at all there, CJ, unless they were in the chat. Gotta say, hurt a little bit.
Well, sorry.
Hurt a little bit.
CJ only looks out for one man, and that's CJ.
That's right. Well, Paul said, the other guys, CJ and those other guys, and I figured that covered it.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's why I showed up in the chat, because I knew that CJ.
I wish I'd known.
Traitor.
Yep.
And does not care about his friends. He's only out for number one.
600 plus episodes, all CJ.
Yep, it's all about him.
The rest of us just showed up sometimes.
Yep.
That's right. No, but it was a lot of fun, and super thanks to those guys for having me on.
Ethan's already bored. He's checking his phone.
No, I'm bringing up the chat.
Oh, boy. Up the chat.
He's playing Switch.
Here. I had a lot of fun in Las Vegas. Spent a lot of the time at the pool with my daughter at the Mandalay Bay.
There you go.
Yeah. Then we went to see Blue Man Group, and we went to see Penn and Teller.
People still go see Blue Man Group?
They do. Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. My daughter had a lovely time there.
Cool. All right.
Yeah. That show really has not changed in.
Well, I remember that being like the biggest thing ever, like 18 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of the case with most shows in Vegas, though.
That's true. I was really shocked when we were there last year. I was really shocked to see Boyz II Men advertised all over the place.
Yeah,
which I'm good with. I loved Boyz II Men, and I know CJ loves acapella, so maybe we'll go this way.
Hey.
You know it.
Yeah, I think Penn and Teller are actually one of the few acts in Vegas that kind of regularly mixes up their show, and adds new stuff.
Yeah, they did change it up. It was a different show than what we saw last fall.
Yeah, exactly.
So the card trick worked.
Had some of the same things, but some really impressive new stuff. So,
nice. Well, maybe when we go to Scoop Fest, I will have to sneak away from you guys and go see them again.
Maybe so. Or we could all go together.
Or we could go together again.
I didn't want to assume. I didn't want to invite you to have to go see a show if you didn't want to go see a show.
That's cool. We're going to see a Golden Knights game too, right? You know that.
Is that
going to be playing in October? When does hockey start?
Almost definitely.
Is that a
Is
that like a variety show, or it's another magic act? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because they have hockey in Vegas now, right?
They do. They're playing for the Stanley Cup right now, which
really
is unprecedented for an expansion team.
That's like the Super Bowl of hockey.
That is like the Super Bowl of hockey.
So there we go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. If you get 3 hockeys in a row, you score a hat trick.
And I'm assuming that if they do win, it'll be pretty freaking hard to get tickets. But you're still going to go if I can get tickets.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, I do happen to know that Mario Lemieux was a hockey guy.
He was. Because you sold a Genesis game with his name on it when you worked at...
Right.
Yeah, because Sega licensed a really crappy hockey game and then plastered his name all over it.
Included a free hockey puck, that game.
It did, and you know what? I would love to get a hold of one of those, mostly for the show, but...
Right.
Good
I remember when I worked at Babbage's back in the day.
It's Babbage, I believe. That's how it was.
Babbage's. Babbage's.
Yeah.
We had a crap ton of copies of Mario Lemieux hockey because that game did not sell.
The worst thing about that game is it was not NHL hockey from EA.
Oh yeah.
Man.
And it came in like a double wide box because you had the regular game cartridge in there plus the puck. And we had like every free corner of space in our store was packed tight with copies of Mario Lemieux Hockey.
I was being serious when I said that Sega did not make that game. That if you go look,
it's like licensed from someone.
Licensed game. If you actually look up footage of ice hockey for the Lynx, also the same game.
Really?
Yes.
It's
I think it's actually an old PC game. I think it was one guy that made it, and he licensed it out. As far as I can tell, he sold it out to other places, and that's what Sega did. I'm almost 100% positive. I haven't confirmed it, but if you look at these different games, they're all the same game. So if they didn't do that, they sure cribbed a lot of code from this guy.
Wow.
Do you think Mario Lemieux was like pissed about that? Do you think in his like weekly dinners with Pat Riley and Joe Montana and Buster Douglas,
his commercial shoots?
Why did they give me that?
That's what I always loved about those Genesis Does commercials too, was all that footage and they even made it look like Joe Montana was pointing at the screen and going "does," but it was just footage of him from a football game.
Yeah.
But no, it's because it was one of those things where I think that was where Sega was really starting to pick up in the sports arena, and of course NHL hockey was a hit.
Yeah,
they licensed Mario Lemieux's name and they slapped it on a game that they bought. Basically, It was bad. It was really bad.
Greg,
yeah,
I'm looking on eBay right now.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like
there
are actually a few pucks. Looks like they're going for about $25 shipped.
Yep.
I might have to hit eBay after this.
Yeah.
Remember Belloc's speech in Raiders of the Lost Ark? The whole thing about the watch. You bury it and it goes from worthless to priceless.
Like the Mario Lemieux puck.
Yep.
That's right.
Priceless or $25, but
what's weird is like you can get the puck for $25. You can get the game for like let's say $10. It looks like $15.
Pricey.
10 to $15 for the game, like in the box and everything. $25 for the puck. But if you want the full package, like including the outer cardboard box that holds the game and the puck, suddenly you're looking at like $300.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
See, the thing is too, is it was such a waste of potential because that game came out in '91, I believe, which was right when the Penguins were winning and Lemieux was winning his Stanley Cups.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I forget which years. I want to say it was 92 and 93 that the Penguins won the Stanley Cup back to back, and of course Mario was the captain of the Penguins. So, yeah, it was huge. I was so bummed about that because he's also was my favorite player ever. I was a big Penguins fan, and to have that come out on my favorite system, I was like, this is awesome. And no, not so much. Terrible game. Ringler Studios was the name of the developer, by the way.
Ringler.
I believe is named after whoever actually created. Like it might be the guy's last name.
Yeah, that makes sense. Huh.
All right then.
Yeah, same people that developed hockey for the Lynx. Brett Hull NHL hockey for the Jaguar, not released. Yeah. So anyway.
Alrighty. Well,
And
hey,
Ringler.
any
Ringler was the
scoops
guy.
who are now listening to Player One because of that spot on ICS? Welcome.
Yeah.
All dozen of you.
Mm-hmm.
There it
Anyway.
is.
Should we talk about some news?
Sure.
Let's talk about E3 leaks.
Okay.
'Cause of course, those happen. Yeah, there was an image that had a number of games on it, but the one that people focused on was Fortnite for the Nintendo Switch.
Yep.
Ah, yes.
As well, the Korean ratings board has leaked that there's a rating for Fortnite on Switch.
So that's happening.
Well, there you go.
So where there's smoke, there's fire, I would say. And
Is this not surprising absolutely nobody, though, since it's already been running on mobile devices?
Yeah.
It's not surprising at all. The question to me is, when is it going to happen? So if they're showing it at E3, is it going to be available like right then? Or is it going to be another couple months wait? Or what?
Are you wondering if the game's going to be shadow dropped?
Yes, you know how I love me some Shadow Drop.
That worked perfectly for the Saturn. So
yeah,
yeah,
I don't know, but the kids love the Fortnite, so
they sure do. Kids love Fortnite.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm excited about that. We'll see. It's gonna at some whenever it arrives, it'll be a huge hit on the Switch.
How sad is Microsoft right now with their
that they backed PUBG
and PUBG? Yeah, are they?
Yeah,
is someone like just sitting there quietly in his office brooding day in and
well,
day
at the
out
time,
now?
a year ago,
Yeah,
when they announced or when they showed it off at E3, it looked like PUBG was going to be the big thing. That was the winner.
That's just Fortnite.
It. Nobody cared about Fortnite. I don't know if you remember. I got a review code for that game and talked about it a little bit on the show when it came out. The Save the World code, anyway. And you guys did not care.
Well, to be fair, I still don't care.
But it is like the biggest game.
Oh yeah,
in the world right now.
No, I certainly agree with that, but I still don't care.
Yeah,
but
PUBG Corp is taking Epic to court.
That'll end well.
Oh boy,
similarities between Fortnite and Battlegrounds.
Does that not seem kind of like Rockstar taking THQ to court over Saints Row? I mean,
well, didn't Sega take whoever made that Simpsons Crazy Taxi game?
I honestly don't know what
that was. Radical Entertainment. So you're talking about?
I believe Sega took them to court over how close.
Sega sued over Simpsons Road Rage. Yep,
Simpsons Road Rage. Yeah, and ended up losing
because Sega patented Crazy Taxi.
Well, didn't they just patent the arrow?
Yes,
over the car. That
really?
Yeah.
But then they I just looked it up. So court documents cited that Road Rage was designed to deliberately copy and imitate, citing several reviews. Maybe we wrote one of those.
Yeah,
possible.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it was a pretty blatant clone of
it was
Crazy
a
Taxi.
Great clone.
Yeah,
that was a good time.
But I believe Sega lost, didn't they?
Good Simpsons games. I don't know.
I want to say they did, but I might be wrong about that.
It's going to be pretty hard though for PUBG to win this. I mean, not only is Fortnite a much bigger game, Battle Royale had been around before. You know, H1Z1.
Yeah.
And as mods to other games. I mean, it wasn't really a new thing even when PUBG came out.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll have to see. Yeah.
Well,
another
E3
leak.
You know what though?
What?
I don't see PUBG getting Lego sets, and I don't see Fortnite getting Lego sets.
Not yet,
but I do see
that's probably coming, right?
I do see Overwatch getting Lego sets.
I could totally see Fortnite getting Lego sets. Yeah, my son just did an 8-week goalie school, and we would go in there in the locker room, and Fortnite was all the kids were talking about. Like that was it. They didn't talk about anything else.
Man.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's how big Fortnite is.
It's huge.
More E3 leak, Ubisoft.
Yeah.
So there was an image that came out of I think a keychain for Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Oh.
So it's a Mario crossover?
I cannot wait to go to New Donk City and assassinate people.
Some bros.
No, it's just, guys, it's just an Origin SKU for Odyssey 2. That's all it is.
Oh, is that?
Assassin's Creed Origins running for Magnavox Odyssey 2. It's cool that they're
CJ, do you still have yours, CJ?
I don't.
The one that came out in the late 70s, not the early 80s. You heathen.
Whatever.
God, I was so glad when I was listening to that. I was in my car and I was yelling at the radio. Come out of the early 80s. Come on.
I didn't follow video games back then.
Clearly.
You know, I
just knew that I was getting a cheap video game console from the Magnavox store.
My boss at work recently bought an original Odyssey.
Oh,
like complete in box and with all the accessories, like the poker chips and all that crap. Yeah.
Damn.
Cool. He has more money than sense.
Well, so Ubisoft, that the little image leaked out, and then Ubisoft confirmed that yes, they're going to show it off at E3.
Why do we even have E3 anymore?
Yeah, really.
So, there's a short clip on Twitter. You can see someone in the assassin's outfit being kicked off of a cliff by a Spartan soldier. So
Cool.
Those Spartans love kicking people off stuff.
Yeah. This is
If I
Sparta.
know anything about Spartan people.
that's right.
Spartanians.
This so it's Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
That's right.
Is it
Yeah.
spelled
Greek.
Odyssee?
No, it's actually yes, actually that is right.
So
We were
it's
about to
the
make the same joke.
the long-awaited Abe.
Abe's Odyssey.
What
Yeah.
Oddworld's been working on.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah.
Finally.
He's like, yeah, let's get past. We're let's get past this.
You remember that Walmart leak from a few weeks ago?
No.
Had Lego DC supervillains. Well,
Yes.
they announced that.
Okay,
Yes.
CJ,
Yes.
just so you know, you're breaking up a lot.
I'm sure that I am.
Your
Who cares?
your bandwidth is clearly struggling.
So does this mean that we will be getting Forza Horizons 5?
I think that's exactly what that means. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. How about I leave and come back and hopefully
What?
that'll fix my
Wait,
bad.
what? I didn't understand the Forza thing. What are we talking
So
about?
that leak also said that Forza Horizons plural 5 was
okay.
coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
That was
So-
probably just a typo.
Here, I'll just change my. I'll do
It's
my
actually
audio.
Event Horizon 5. It's a
There we go.
Is this better?
Well, I can't
Well, I
see
mean,
you,
you can't see
so
you, but-
that's certainly an improvement.
That's certainly better.
stay like this for now, and then you can come back later.
Come back. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll come back later.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Sega has announced a new Sonic racing game. It's
They
Team
did.
Sonic Racing from Sumo Digital.
Yes.
So I wonder if by it being a Sonic game instead of a Sega All-Stars game, if we're gonna still have the great fan service that I really, really dug
Boy, I
from
hope
the last
so.
game.
Yeah.
I hope they keep that. Yeah.
I do.
I,
be
I
awesome.
thought the reaction to this was so weird. I mean, I didn't follow it too closely, but just sort of the hot takes I was seeing. I mean, back when they announced it and they had the Sonic R styled R, I was like, okay,
Right.
but we all know they're not making a Sonic R game. Like that's
Right.
just
Oh, yeah.
Why would they? Right. But then to see that they announced that it's basically what looks like a follow up to Sonic All Stars,
Mm-hmm.
and people seemed upset. You remember? Did you play Sonic R? Sonic
It was a
R
good
was
game.
not good.
No, the only thing that
Oh,
you'll
yeah,
remember positively is the music. The music
was amazing.
incredibly
Yeah,
catchy.
the music's
Yes.
great, but
Yes.
Sonic R is terrible.
Yeah.
It's a terrible game. Yeah.
Whereas Sonic Racing, Sonic
Sonic-
All-Stars Racing Transformed was fantastic.
Yeah,
it was a
really good game.
game.
Really
Yeah.
good.
And that's what I
yeah.
maintain is anyone who played Transformed will be really excited about this announcement.
Yeah, I mean, I don't need to know any more, to be honest. I mean, the team racing thing, I'm guessing there's going to be some kind of mechanic there, obviously, that lends itself to that name. But otherwise, it's a Sonic racing game by Sumo Digital. Day one. I'll be
Right.
buying
And
it.
the key thing to remember is Sumo Digital also did the home versions of Outrun 2. And so that really great
Yep.
feeling drifting
That was-
mechanic
yeah.
is what makes Transform so fun, in my opinion. And
That
I'm
was
sure
the-
they'll be back.
Yeah, those home versions of Outrun 2 were the games where it's like, I will play anything they make. I will at
Exactly.
least give
Yep.
anything they make a shot.
These guys are good. Also, they understand the Sega properties better than anyone we ever worked with when I was at Sega. I mean,
Yeah.
it was awesome the amount of fan service that they put into the last game.
Agreed.
And by the way, the 360 version of All Stars Racing is Games with Gold game this month.
oh, really?
Nice.
On the
Very
Xbox.
nice.
Do yourself a favor. Is it transformed or is it All Stars?
You know, I don't know.
If
I'm
it's
not sure.
transformed,
Transforms
I
better.
mean, they're both good, but transformed is better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you
Okay.
haven't tried it, please go out and check it out.
Indeed. Fallout 76 has been announced, or at least teased. We're going to find out more details about it at E3. There was a short teaser video that they showed that really didn't have any details, except apparently it's after the fighting is done, you're going to repopulate the
Sounds awesome.
globe. And Kotaku did a report
One day at a time.
citing several sources that apparently it's an online survival RPG. in the Fallout universe.
Sounds interesting.
Sounds interesting, and sounds like something that I'm going to love the idea behind and never really play.
Yeah, I think I probably will get 25 to 27 hours in, say, wow, that was cool, and just one day stop playing it and have no particularly good reason why. That's what's happened for every Fallout game.
Every Fallout game.
I still have not finished a Fallout game.
No.
But I played 3 and 4.
They're good. I mean,
they are
really
good
good, really well done games.
I actually really don't like Fallout 4 had the sort of building aspect of it where you rebuild like a civilization or a little town area.
Like a subdivision.
I did not like that part at all. And I know some people really like that aspect of it. So, oh well. We got some Pokemon news.
I don't know about you guys, but I was very busy at work this past week. A lot going on this past week at work. Let me tell you.
That's right. I'm just going to talk about the one that interested me the most, so we can keep moving the show.
I'm just going to be quiet because I like my job.
There you go. You do that. Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. I
loved Hey You Pikachu.
No, this is completely different. These are 2 Switch games, and they're ostensibly remakes of Pokemon Yellow, but it has 2-player simultaneous play, which is cool. Like with the Joy-Cons, you can hand a Joy-Con to another player and they can play alongside you as another trainer, which is awesome. And there's also a Pokeball controller that you can use to play the Switch game, and then it also connects with Pokemon Go on mobile. And it looks pretty cool.
So Pokemon Go, is it still a big thing?
Pokemon Go is still huge. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Cool.
I can't speak from any sort of official capacity, but I've heard that it's still like really big.
Yeah.
So, and I think also really big is going to be Nintendo at the end of the year with that and Smash. That's equivalent to Mario and Zelda same year. It's amazing that both of those are coming out this year after what happened last year.
Wait, what happened last year?
Well, just that they had 2 AAA heavy hitters last year, and they're able to actually repeat that this year.
Yeah, and we don't even know what else they've got. Like if that Star Fox Racing thing is real and coming out before the end of the year, like that's another big game. Who knows about the quality of that? But yeah, should be very interesting. But I'm really excited for the cooperative play in this game. Game Explain has a really interesting comparison video that I'll link to in the show notes, showing the footage from the Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee trailer, and cites different areas in Pokemon Yellow that are in here. So
cool.
Yep, the Pokeball controller also my kids just completely flipped out about.
Oh yeah, it looks cool. It's like a Joy-Con plus a Pokewalker in one.
Yep.
Like it's that's a neat idea for sure.
It is.
Sounds like something you want to buy multiples of.
Want to get 2
copies. Speaking of multiples, of course, the question that came up after that trailer ran was which kid gets which version. And my son, of course, said Pikachu. And my daughter, she likes to get the thing not everyone else wants. So she was like, oh, no, that's cool. I want Eevee. So.
All right, then.
Yeah.
Well,
Eevee's popular.
Don't play like Eevee's not massively popular anyway. So yeah. Eevee's pretty huge. Now, if she said, I want Agumon or Blue Eyes White Dragon, or
the only one I can think of is that one that isn't he looks like a bean or something like that. He doesn't do anything.
Or
I don't even know.
You know what? Maybe if she wants the unpopular thing, get her Yokai Watch.
Wow.
Shots fired. Shots fired. Wow. Some other news coming out last week on the Pokemon front. The next core Pokemon RPG is apparently coming to Switch in late 2019. So those who are not interested in a Yellow remake with some Pokemon Go connectivity,
further proving that the Switch really was created to replace the 3DS.
Oh well, of course.
Yeah, I mean we all knew that, but you know.
Yeah. If you're holding your breath for the 4DS, you can stop. Stop now.
The 4DS, really?
Yeah, why not?
has time travel in it or something.
Exactly. But hey, if you're still into 3DS, Nintendo has announced a new Hylian themed 2DS XL. This thing actually looks really, really nice. It's got Link Between Worlds pre-installed
It's a good game.
on it, and it's a GameStop exclusive.
Am I the only one who sees that word and says Hylian instead of Hylian?
I think so.
But
And
it's
I pronounce
Hyrule.
it Hyrule. No, I get it.
Yeah.
But I just I don't know. I always say Hylian.
Hylian.
Hmm.
Okay.
I always see it and just say H.I. McDonough.
Don't
I
get
don't
it.
know why.
I don't
Is that a Raising Arizona?
No, it's a reference to something else with H.I. McDonough. I don't know. I know you don't read a lot of Shakespeare, but that's actually Midsummer Night's Dream.
Oh, okay.
CJ, that's what that was a reference to.
I would believe it. It's Coen
Yeah.
Brothers, so sure.
Yeah.
$160 at GameStop for this 2DS.
Hmm.
I really like the look, but I'm not going to get another 2DS. So
who's
you're
the
buying it.
audience-
He says
Who's
this
the
week.
audience for it?
who's the audience? It's I would say kids.
No way.
For
it's
$160?
That's collectors. That's collectors.
You
They're
think?
gonna-
Oh, come on. Because what? You can get the machine for $80 or something with Mario Kart?
Well, a
It's-
2DS.
it's-
don't
it's
want
a-
Mario Kart.
It's a 2DS that looks like Link's shield. You think like a 6-year-old cares about that?
Okay, you're right. It's for
If
collectors.
it was shaped like a Fortnite shield, then maybe
maybe
the
they should
kids
make
would
one
be
of those.
interested.
You think Fortnite's going to come to the 3DS?
Does Fortnite have a shield?
They
Does he
could
use a
put it on
shield
there, they would.
in his game?
I don't think so. No.
What is he? He goes around and
This is
shoots
what-
guns.
This is where Fortnite jumps through the window.
Fortnite's my favorite video game character of 2018 so far.
This is where Fortnite gets arrested.
But this 2DS looks cool. It's silver.
Oh,
and
no, it's great
Very
looking.
pretty.
It's very nice. Yeah.
red. Yeah, it's nice, but I don't think I need.
CJ's buying one.
I probably will.
That's the
You're right.
second time he said he's not buying it, which he's totally buying it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, there's a Mega Man 11 amiibo. Of
I know.
Uh-oh. I didn't know they were
Yeah.
still making Amiibo.
course, they never stopped. Never stopped.
Never game stopped.
And it's a GameStop exclusive, right?
See how I set you up there, CJ? You're
It's a
welcome.
game-
Yeah, I guess
GameStop
it's good.
exclusive.
Oh, it's one of those ones that has the weird little clear plastic. Oh,
Yeah.
no, I guess he could be standing on that thing, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's supposed to be
terrible.
jumping. He's supposed
that's
to be
terrible.
jumping. What are you talking
It's
about?
not
That looks
that
good.
terrible.
That's a good looking amiibo.
It looks super good. Yeah.
That's a nice looking amiibo. He's in a little actiony jump pose.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I pre-ordered mine.
Okay.
I love that this the special edition goes with a
Yeah, I
stage
know.
select microfiber cloth.
Yes, indeed.
What are you gonna do with that?
Well,
you
you
know-
gotta turn off your Switch.
You know what's ridiculous too?
Oh, God.
The Mega Man Legacy Collection 1 and
Mhm.
2 came out like what 2 weeks ago or so.
Mhm, yeah.
Yeah.
That like the first batch of those came with a microfiber cloth as well that had
Somebody got a deal on some microfiber cloths.
Capcom. Someone working at Capcom has a brother who works at a microfiber cloth factory, and yeah, they were really
They
excited.
probably also make stickers and adhesive patches too,
Yeah.
exactly.
since it also comes with
That's
that.
that's all the.
That's
You know
great.
what's killing me about this though, and of
Age?
course, well,
Because the
slow
amiibo,
march.
they haven't said whether the amiibo would be sold separately.
Well, no, I'm going to assume that it's not going to be sold separately.
Uh-huh.
But what's killing me about it is the game itself. If you just buy Mega Man 11, it's like what $30.
Uh huh.
So, but the special edition, which comes with the amiibo, is $60.
Oh,
So,
Oh, wow.
Oh, please.
and amiibos are what $15.
yeah.
So,
$12.99 or something.
yeah. So
Well,
you're
the Zelda
Well, I
ones
mean,
are
it's a
more The Zelda
microfiber
one-
cloth.
The newer Splatoon
Very-
and Zelda ones have been $15.
it's very difficult to get those fibers to be so small, which
Yes.
drives up the price.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're paying a fair premium for that microfiber cloth.
So-
the adhesive Dr. Wily logo patch and the 4 stickers that are included with it.
So do we know, is it a actual physical cartridge or is it just a download code?
I'm assuming it's a physical cartridge. I mean, they show
it is.
they show a picture of the box. Now, of course, that box could just have a download code in it.
Happened before,
Right.
Yeah. I'm assuming it is though.
If Tiny Barbarian gets a cartridge, this gets a cartridge.
I don't know.
Mega Man Legacy Collection 2 didn't get a cartridge.
Didn't get a cartridge.
Yeah, that's true.
And neither is Mega Man X Collection 2. So
I
Yeah.
think this gets a cartridge, though. I think that's
let's
likely.
hope.
Maybe.
Let's hope.
All right. Let's talk about what we've been playing. What do you think about that?
Okay.
It had to
You
happen
like that
eventually.
idea? All right. Well, Ethan, since you probably played a lot since we last spoke on the show with you, how about
That's not an invitation to talk about everything you've played since you last played.
Understood.
So
Well,
you
I'll
know.
start with something. that I know Phil has been playing, enjoying as well, and that is.
Don't presume to tell me what I've been playing.
Hey, man, I have
Ethan.
Twitter.
No,
I
you know
see
what?
You're playing.
You know what? You don't have the right to follow me on Twitter and stalk me. How dare you?
does.
Who do you think you
We've
are?
all been inside you, Phil.
Well,
Wow.
I have cameras.
we have been.
Some of us before Twitter was invented, but I'm not going anywhere.
Yoku's Island Express.
Yoku's Island Express for the Nintendo Switch Entertainment
that?
System.
Did you buy that, Ethan?
I did.
I
I
did
didn't.
too.
I didn't see the tweet, so I was wondering.
I bought it
Yes.
as well.
Yeah.
It is great.
It is really good.
Yeah, it's just so clever. I love the pinball mechanics and the way it mixes.
Describe what the game is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's hear what
sure,
it is
sure.
exactly.
Your
'Cause
little
nobody
character
knows what
that
this is.
Sure. You're a little character that's rolling a ball around so you can move the character like you can a traditional
Ethan,
2D action platform hero.
what kind of
Yes.
character are you?
What kind of character is it, actually?
He's a bug.
Dung beetle.
He's
Okay.
a beetle. He's a beetle
dung
that rolls
beetle.
a ball.
Yeah.
He's a dung beetle. You
Yeah.
are a dung beetle. This is a game where you play as a dung beetle. So
They
that's
should have
already
called this Dung Hole in One.
Yep.
What's that name, Ethan?
Stop it.
No.
Sorry.
And it's not
Sorry.
called dung,
You can't even say Dung Hole in One.
dung hole in It's a funny name.
It is.
But it's
Beavis
not the
and
name of the game
Butthead.
that I'm describing.
Dung hole in one.
Much better name than Yoku's Island Express, which says nothing about the game.
Yes.
It's such a
Well,
generic
and
title.
that's the thing. Like, even looking at the way the game is presented on the eShop, I just passed it right by. It wasn't until someone on Twitter said, "Oh, you got to try this," that I jumped in. Really glad I did because it is fun. It's a dung beetle moving around a little ball from place to place, but you have flippers throughout the environment.
Ball of shit.
Would you say
have-
that this game is the shit?
Yeah. You have flippers that you will use to actually hit the ball, which the
Fling your poop.
hero holds on to and gives you some really good physics-based pinball mechanics throughout the game. But it's a mix that I haven't seen before, and it feels really good. And so it's just one of those things that, like so many of the other indie games on Switch, just is worth trying and doesn't quite feel like anything that's come before it. What have your thoughts been so far, Phil?
Well, it's set up like a Metroid game. Yeah, you have one large map, areas that you can't quite reach yet, so you're going to have to get powers and backtrack and such like that. You know what? To me, it feels like. Have any of you guys ever played the old NES game Pinball Quest?
Pinball Quest. Yeah, I was going to ask if it was like that.
Yeah.
It feels like an evolution of that because it is very much a kind of action adventure game with heavy pinball mechanics used to maneuver your way around the world. And it's really, really fun. And, just looking at screenshots, you might be prone to just sort of pass it up just because in like still images, it kind of looks like every other sort of slapdash indie platformer that's come out, so it doesn't look like anything special, but if you watch, there's a video of it on the eShop, and the video does a much better job of sort of selling the mechanics
Yeah.
and being like knocking yourself all around the world. And apparently it looks like later on you can get like kind of a grappling hook sort of thing that lets you spin around on pivot points and such, but I have not found that yet. But no, it's really nice. It's really fun.
It's one of those games that really should have gotten a demo, because first 10 minutes and you're pretty hooked.
Yeah, that's true actually.
So that one I've been liking. The other one I picked up because
not to, I'm sorry, but it's what, $20? I think it's $20.
Yeah.
So it's it's a little. I mean, I guess that's
honestly a little pricey for something
that
I want to take a chance on.
Right, but yeah, I mean, well, kind of like what Ethan was saying, I kind of just glanced past it at first, just because, like I said, the name and the still images do not stand out. But yeah, after hearing people on Twitter kind of going off about how great it was, I was like, it's $20, it's 20, but yeah, I'll try it for $20, and it's worth it for sure. I'm sorry, Ethan. Please continue.
No, that's fine. So another one that I had heard good things about when I was listening to the Switch podcast on IGN was Battle Chasers. And I had skipped it until I saw, Battle Chasers Night War. I skipped it until I walked into a GameStop and saw a physical copy. I had no idea that they had actually made a cartridge of it. So it was pretty cheap. It was, I mean, relative to Switch games, so it was like $30 or something. So I picked it up, and I'm 10 hours into it now and just really enjoying it. It is the game that I had hoped I Am Setsuna was going to be. It's very much like that game, a traditional RPG. The mechanics are really satisfying. There's a lot of different options you have in fighting to take on different enemies with strengths and weaknesses. The characters are beautifully illustrated. It looks like something out of a 90s comic book. And I'm finding that it's just this really great pacing, kind of nice to sit and play. Sometimes, going to tougher dungeons and really focusing my attention. Other times, just watching something with my wife and having it on in the background grinding. But I'm having much more fun with it than I expected to. And so if you want a traditional RPG experience and Setsuna didn't do it for you, this is a surprisingly fun experience. And it's not just on Switch, it's on the other platforms as well. Has anyone else played that one?
No.
I've been tempted to pick that up, but I think I'm going to wait for Octopath Traveler to be my summer RPG.
Yeah, that's a great choice too, based on the demo. This isn't trying to reinvent things quite the way that Octopath is. It's much more traditional. But the way I like to put it is the way the visuals look. It's like what you probably imagine the characters looked like when you were playing Final Fantasy.
Huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
So yeah, it's really, really quite good. So the last one that I would mention, of course, is the Mario Tennis Aces.
Mario Lemieux Tennis.
Yes.
You're talking about the demo, the online tournament.
Yeah, the online tournament. And this one, I mean, I remember when the N64 Mario Tennis came out. It was a very big deal for me and my friends, and we played the hell out of that one. So I have a soft spot for this game, but it really feels great. It to me felt right on par with something like Virtua Tennis at its peak.
Right on par. I get it.
Par is a golf term.
That's a golf term, yeah.
Tennis. Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's more 15 love.
But I really like the balance, and I really was having a great time with the demo. I'm sure you guys jumped in for a couple rounds, right?
I did.
I did. Yep.
What do you think?
I need to get the save game so I can get the classic Mario skin.
In all honesty, and I don't know if this is I really like the gameplay. Really simple. I agree with it. I agree with it. It being Ethan. I agree with you, Ethan.
He's a man.
Sorry.
God.
I agree with you that it's really nice overall. I was super impressed by it. But then I went on and played an online game, and lag. Oh my God, the lag was.
I didn't have any lag. I just got my ass kicked.
No, it was unplayable.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was. I don't know if I just got lucky, and I'm just sort of typing in lag, like Mario Tennis Aces lag into Google and seeing that I wasn't alone. But I don't know if it's a standard problem or if it was just a connection issue with me. But my God, Mario wouldn't, or my character who I was playing as Mario wouldn't move for a noticeable amount of time after I pressed the stick in a
geez.
direction.
Oh, man.
So it was awful. And
Yeah,
it really
playing,
soured me.
handheld
It still
or
seems
docked?
really good, but it really soured me.
Handheld or docked?
I was playing docked. That
Oh.
might be the thing too. I don't know. This is a pro controller. So
Yeah, fortunately, I didn't have that problem.
Me neither.
I just kind of messed around with the Versus computer. I didn't even go online. So
It's a cool setup. Like it puts you in an online tournament when you start, so it matches you up at the bottom, and then you go all the way to the top. I like how it's set up. I'm just terrible at it now.
am I crazy? Well, okay. Let me preface this.
Ah,
In regards to what I'm about to say about Mario Tennis Aces, I loved what I played. I think it's fantastic. I'm going to buy the game. I loved the previous Mario Tennis games, but I felt a little overwhelmed at the beginning of the game when they're sort of throwing. Here are the here's how you hit the ball back, and here's how you kind of aim where you want it to go, and here's like 20 other special moves, and they're like one is triggered with the L button, one's triggered with the R button, and
one is triggered with tilting the device or the L stick.
Yeah. So it's like it seemed like a little much to be throwing at me at the start of the game. Yeah,
there's depth, but it's a lot, and the problem is these are not like little tricky show off things that are optional. These are required moves. Successful.
And maybe once I kind of get the hang of it in the full version, I will feel differently.
Well, that's kind of the danger of what they did, right? Because they don't have the chance to work you into it. And I remember actually when I first fired it up was actually late at night last night, and I actually got irritated with how much tutorial I had to get through, and I turned it off. Not because, and I don't think it's that it was a bad thing. They needed to tell you how to do that stuff, but it was just like I wanted to check this thing out for maybe one match. Right. I couldn't even get to a match. Right. And it's like So I played it today, but I have a feeling, this being Nintendo, the final version will ease you into that stuff.
Well, and I don't know if you've seen this as well, but in the online tournaments, there's 3 modes. One of them is a simple mode that basically takes out all of those crazy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because part of me was wondering as they're going through all these various special moves and kill shots and things like that. It's like, is this more than what I want out of a tennis game?
It could be. Although I will say that I think it seems like a lot because they hit you with it all at once.
Yeah, that could be
that much.
It really is.
There's a story mode in the full game.
Yeah,
so probably introduce a lot of those mechanics naturally.
I found just playing around with it a little bit that I was starting to get used to. I wasn't good at it. Like I couldn't, for some reason, I could not get the timing on the move where you jump across the court.
Oh, really?
I just couldn't get. I would hit it, but it kept telling me you're late. You started late.
Oh, right.
But I still hit it. What did I do wrong? Like, so
the biggest challenge there is I remember Virtua Tennis on Dreamcast when that originally came out. I'd go over to a friend's house, and he and his girlfriend would love to jump in and play with me and another friend of ours, just play 4 people at once. And his girlfriend didn't play games at all, but she could get into it and be totally competent because, while your game could improve if you understood how to do slices and smashes and stuff, you still could be fully competent just knowing where to stand and being able to lob the ball back.
Sure.
Here,
it does seem like they're going to have that, though.
Yeah, it sounds like they're going to have a different mode for it. But what was nice with Virtua Tennis, to be fair, is that you could be a fully competent player in the standard mode without feeling like you're in a baby mode, right? Being able to play the game. Here's the other thing is my daughter jumped into it and she really enjoyed it. My son, who's younger, he just turned 8, he bounced right off. He was just like, nope, this is way too hard.
Yeah, my 9-year-old watched me play the demo this morning and he didn't even ask if he could play.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. So
of course it wasn't Fortnite, so
that's it. Once I got to grips with it, and I won a couple of rounds, it was really quite addicting, and I was really sucked in. I can't wait to play more.
It was actually addictive.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. That's
yes,
the.
Thank you, Professor.
Yeah. I'm just
Professor Theobald.
I'm just saying.
So,
is that all you got, Ethan?
Yeah, just last one I'd mention is just Ikaruga. I'm sure you guys have talked about that already, but $15. The Tate mode, flipping it up on its side, is awesome. Feels like a little arcade, and that is one that I just keep coming back to and dying repeatedly. It's very hard, but it's so satisfying. I love that game.
I actually have not picked that up.
Not Radiant Silvergun. I never liked that game as much as Radiant Silvergun.
Yeah,
I have it on. I have Ikaruga on. I think the 360, and it's backwards compatible on the Xbox One. So I don't.
Nice.
think I need to
Oh yeah, that's right.
get it again.
I think I have that as well.
Yeah,
So,
but it's a good game. It's a really good game.
It is, yeah.
I'm not into the bullet hell shooters.
You don't have a frothing demand.
I do not.
No.
My
He's a
demand.
professor, not a reverend.
That's a deep cut.
That is a deep cut. No one's getting that.
No one understands that joke.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not into the bullet hell variety of shooters at all.
Well, at least this is one of those where you can switch colors, right? And
Well, yeah,
easily-
that doesn't make it not a bullet hell.
I mean,
I
yeah,
like
you're right.
to-
It's still bullet hell.
I like the idea. I always liked the idea behind that mechanic, but I never. And like I said, huge fan of Radiant Silvergun.
Right.
Huge fan of treasure games in general. I imported Ikaruga for the Dreamcast when it came out, knowing that I would love it. Never liked it.
The thing about bullet hell shooters that always gets me is that
It's all the bullets.
usually- it's all
That's
the
what-
bullets.
pure hell.
That's what gets you.
No, but your player character is like a larger sprite or whatever, but the area that is the hitbox where
Right.
like if it shoots you there, you die, is much smaller usually.
Yeah.
And I never understand that. I always think it's the whole character, and it never is. So that
Right.
always like makes me freak out. So oh well.
Well, and it is one of those games that I really do wish you could capture video, because I've really started to like that feature on the Switch.
Oh, I like
And-
that too. Yeah.
Yeah, if you have, I had a perfect run last night on the first stage, which for me was quite an accomplishment. And I hit that button very proudly, and it just popped up. This game does not allow you to take video. And it's like, no.
It doesn't.
Nope.
Really?
Why?
That's
That's
dumb.
weird.
Well, it's a feature they have to enable, and if it's possible that they didn't do it, there are new releases that don't allow you to do it.
Yeah.
That seems like the kind you would want that feature enabled just to
Exactly.
I
show
would
up your
think, yeah,
perfect runs and things like that. But what an
Yeah.
odd oversight.
indeed.
Yeah. So that's it for me.
All right, Phil, what do you got for us?
Yes. What else have I been playing this week that's not the stuff we've already talked? Oh, a couple retro collections. We can touch on those real quick. The Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection came out,
Yeah.
so I picked that up. Picked that up
I-
for Switch.
I realized that I'm crappy at Street Fighter 2 arcade.
Well,
Is
yeah.
that right?
I mean,
Well,
most of us are.
you can adjust the difficulty if you'd like.
I know I haven't done that yet.
Yeah,
I'm
they-
playing around with that stuff.
Although the user interface on that game is not the best, because they really kind of hide the difficulty adjustments. You have to
I
when you
didn't
are
find it.
wait. Well, that's just it. If you have to be on the game select screen where they have like the dozen titles or whatever that's on there.
Yep.
And you have to you don't go into the game. For
Right.
heaven's sake, don't start the game you want to adjust the difficulty on. just highlight the game you want to adjust the difficulty on. And then you have to press like X or Y, which brings up a little sub menu that allows you to tweak the
Oh.
difficulty. And then
I see.
may start
Would
the
this
game.
be like? Would this be like setting jumpers on an arcade board?
a little bit.
Probably.
Because these are
Yeah.
arcade emulation, aren't they?
Right.
Am I
Yeah,
wrong?
it'll
Like I
be-
was going to ask about that. Like these aren't the console port emulated.
I don't think so.
No, I
I-
don't think so either.
Okay.
Have you jumped into the bonus materials, the extras, the
A
history?
little bit.
I love that stuff. I
Oh
think
yeah,
it's
they got
really-
a ton. They did a really great job.
Yeah. It's really well produced. And as an aside, I did also pick up the Genesis Classics, which doesn't have that stuff, which is kind of a
Yeah.
bummer since, Phil, you and I put a lot of effort into putting that stuff in the last version of that.
Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection.
That's right.
Pick it up.
But I mean, it is so welcome in the Street Fighter one, and I just love reading that stuff.
Yeah, Oh, go ahead, Greg.
So the Street Fighter collection. So it's
Yes.
the first game right up through to
It's-
third strike or something
Yep.
like that? Or-
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
You got original Street Fighter, which is
Terrible.
Terrible.
laughably bad.
Mhm.
You got what, like 5 versions of Street Fighter 2? It's
Something
the
like that. Yeah, there's
original
12
Street
games
Fighter
total.
2, Turbo,
Championship edition and Turbo.
Yeah, Championship Edition, or Turbo. You got
Hyper
the
Fighting.
Super. Yeah, you got the 3. You got the 3 alphas,
That's pretty great. I love the
Yeah.
alpha games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then you have the 3 versions of Street Fighter 3. So
The so somebody hacker alias TFX God in the chat is saying that the Street Fighter collection has some sound issues.
I did not notice that. Although he's saying what, sound effects too loud in spots, music too low in spots.
Those are things I
Uh,
probably wouldn't even notice.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess
I
I'm
did
not
notice
familiar
it.
enough with the arcade games to know
Yeah.
recognize that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I mean, that might be the case, but it
all my
wasn't
all my
noticeable to
street
me.
fighting was done at home.
Yeah,
Yep.
same here. You know what?
The privacy of your own home where nobody's gonna
Yeah,
embarrass you.
where
You
your
know what is
quarter
kind
lasts
of
longer.
noticeable though?
Yeah.
Ethan brought up the Genesis collection. That's got some
Disappointing.
lag apparently.
Really?
And some sound issues.
Yeah,
Aw.
I was playing it the night it showed up. And I had tried out I started off playing Toe Jam and Earl, which is
As
still
you
just a blast. Friggin' love Toe Jam and Earl.
Indeed.
And then I went to one of my other favorites on that collection, Revenge of Shinobi, which is just one of my favorite Genesis games. And as you may recall, in Revenge of Shinobi, you have an attack where if you jump, and then at
Yes,
the
I've
peak
heard
of your
about
jump,
this.
you jump again, and you spin around, and you can shoot a spread of
Very
shuriken.
difficult to do with controller lag.
That's
Very
because
difficult.
I
No.
started playing it, and I was for the life of me, I was not able to pull off that double jump
Yep.
shuriken throw, which I actually use quite a bit, like to take down bosses and things like that. But I was really kind of getting upset with myself. I was like, geez, I used to be very, very good at Revenge of Shinobi, and now I can't pull off a double jump. What is
That-
happening with me?
That somersault was difficult to do back in the day.
Right.
It had, you could get really good at it. I was really good at it as well. But come to realize that there's a really tiny window.
Oh yeah, you have to hit it at like the peak of your jump.
Right. And then the
Hmm.
thing is that that was the first time I ever really, I mean, you know, I'd seen TV, like flat screen TV lag and all that, and
Right.
it never really bothered me. Playing Revenge of Shinobi was one of the first times that it really
Mhm.
bothered me because I could not get the timing right, and I knew I could do it. But
Yeah, and then I went online and I'm reading all these reports of massive lag in it, and then I was like, that is why I suddenly sucked at Revenge of Shinobi. So
Well, and I think sometimes the best solution isn't necessarily to have just one emulator that's designed to give you access to 50 games,
Yeah.
but rather to look at the needs of every game individually. So what Christian Whitehead did with Sonic the Hedgehog when he brought that back to platform Sonic CD as well, that was an individual effort, and I think that sometimes that's really important because you want to make sure that everything feels exactly as it should.
now the
Right.
flip side of that, of course, is that then you're not really going to get a 50 game collection.
Right.
That's true.
You're gonna
That's true.
get the
But I
Sega
agree
Ages
with you.
collection and the stuff that M2 does.
Right.
So
I
right.
agree. I agree with you though, Ethan, and that's why I was kind of reluctant to pick this up, mostly for two reasons. One, I mean, I own every one of the games on those collections multiple times over,
Right.
but still, you know, still like to support them because being a big Sega fan and being a big Genesis fan. But I have a lot of those games on Steam. I ended up buying a lot of them on Steam, and they're not good. Like the emulation is not
Right.
good. And then to see that DT3 or whatever they're called, D3T, was doing this package, I was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait. And
Yeah.
and lo and behold, like I even just watched a couple. Actually, Corey over at My Life in Gaming did a great video comparing this not only to the originals but also to the other collections in the past.
Oh, yeah.
And it doesn't hold up.
No.
Like, and I kind of knew that would be the case. It doesn't
No,
offer anything, and it has glitches, and it has lag, and it has bad audio, and yeah,
There's one thing that it has that I really do appreciate, though.
the rewind
It's the
feature.
same thing. Yes, the same thing Mega Man
I do
has.
wish it had that. Yeah.
Yeah. The reason I love that, and I think it's such a smart addition to any retro collection, is when I sit down and play one of these games, I do like the idea of being able to get to the end, but I don't know that I'm going to want to commit to that particular retro game the way I would when I was a kid.
Right.
I agree with that.
The biggest thing for me is like playing Sonic the Hedgehog and being able to say, all right, you know what? This time I want to get all the Chaos Emeralds. And
Yeah.
have it for that specifically is awesome.
Yeah.
But I mean, save states would give you the same thing.
Not as
quite as convenient, but although it's again like calling out Corey's video, he called out the save state thing, and apparently saving and loading save states is really well done in this package and really easy and convenient. So that's great because it's not menu driven; it's actually right stick driven.
Yeah,
from what I'm hearing. No, I agree with you, and that's kind of the one thing that I was like, maybe I will pick this up for that, but there's definitely too many negatives. The other thing that I'd really like to hear somebody doing, and M2 did this when they did the Phantasy Star collection on the PlayStation 2, which was add an easy mode to old RPGs. So they did that with the Phantasy Star games, and I believe what it was is, I think you had more power when you were attacking, and you got way more experience, so you leveled up a lot faster.
They also increased your character's walking speed.
Did they really?
I believe so. Yeah. Because to me that speaks exactly what you were saying, Ethan, and that's why I haven't ever finished the original Phantasy Star, and I will never ever finish Phantasy Star 2 again, because there is just so much grinding in those games that I'm like you. I don't have the time to give them, but I would love to go through them again.
So would you call those types of things quality of life improvements?
Not at all. You want me to leave the show? Is that what you're up to doing?
Oh man.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Oh boy.
But anyway, it sounds pretty disappointing. So
yeah, it's a shame.
I won't be picking it up.
It is a shame. Last thing I played this week is Bloodstained. Curse of the Moon.
Curse of la Lune.
Which finally the backers started getting their codes. Yes. I got my Switch code the other day, but I actually ended up playing through it on Steam before the codes came out. But I did finish it.
What you think?
Well, to be fair, I'm going to qualify this. I finished it in the easy mode.
Me too. And you know what? Yeah. Having done that, I will never play that in normal mode. up until the last level, I was like, I'm gonna go back and play this in normal mode. Nope. Yeah. Not after the last level.
Last level's kind of crazy.
Oh.
Yeah. But it is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's really damn good.
Yeah.
It's if you have even just a hint of fondness for the old 8-bit Castlevania games, you need to play this because it is.
Oh.
I mean, it's an 8-bit Castlevania game, but like the best of
the bosses. Oh man,
yeah, really great.
The sprite work on those bosses is just
I love
gorgeous.
The coin boss.
Yes, me too.
Favorite.
Oh
my favorite.
Yep.
Easily my favorite.
Yeah, just really good stuff. You unlock. There are 4 playable characters that you unlock as you progress through the games. They all have different abilities. They all have different weapons. They all have different sub weapons that you can use.
Very much based on Dracula 3 or Castlevania 3.
Well, that's the thing is, and like that, like some of the characters do feel like one feels like Trevor, the other feels like Simon, the other feels like Alucard. It's like there are specific riffs like that are really cool.
Yeah. The alchemist character, the wizard guy, is awful. He is the worst character, I think.
You know what?
What?
He was one of my most powerful characters
really?
in the game. Well, because I was playing on casual. So for anybody who doesn't understand or doesn't know, so the way that the 4 characters work, as you play through, you unlock you meet these different characters, which, by the way, I saw in a review, you don't need to let them join you.
Really?
Yeah, I saw that.
Go ahead.
If you actually kill them,
yes,
it's in your best interest.
You can kill them?
You can kill them.
Absorb their abilities.
And absorb their abilities.
What?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I did not know that. There's a lot to this game.
Gives me an excuse to play through it again.
There's a lot to this game. Branching paths and everything too. Like there's a lot to this game.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, so you generally the first 4 bosses you fight, their souls inhabiting those bosses, and they can join you as playable characters. And while you're playing, very much like if you ever played Castlevania 3, you can switch on the fly, and they all have different abilities. Like the main character has a sword, the second character jumps higher and she has a long whip. The alchemist has a very short range but has really powerful magic. And then the last guy is Alucard from Castlevania 3. There's no other way to describe him. He has the exact same abilities as Alucard.
Yeah.
So, but when you're playing in casual mode, you have traditional lives, but the 4 characters also act as extra lives, basically. So if one of them dies, because they all have their own life bars, you don't lose a life. But you start back at the last checkpoint, and you can keep playing with your remaining characters.
Yeah.
And then they'll come back after you beat the level. So what I ended up doing, because I was playing on casual, which means you have infinite lives, and the only reason you would ever stop was because you lost all your characters, and then you just go to the checkpoint. But I would keep forging ahead, and I was always left with the alchemist because I never used him.
Right.
And there was one boss in particular at the top of the ship, actually, the Sea of Thieves level, where he has a great magic spell that's actually a homing device, like a homing attack.
Yeah.
It took out that boss so easily.
Oh, really?
And that was a tough boss.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Nice.
It all bodes well for the full Bloodstained.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, and so did the demo last year or the year before.
Yeah.
I have such high hopes for this game. Like,
same here. Now it's really good. And it's only $10?
$10.
Yeah.
I bought it after last week's show.
Nice.
Really good.
And it's only like 2 hours long to play through it, but you won't see everything. But
and again, that's on the casual mode. Certainly, if you are playing it on the higher difficulty, it's going to be a longer game. But
big fan of the bosses.
Yeah. So the easy mode, like you said, it gives you infinite lives, but it also eliminates knockback when you get hit.
Really? Yes, I wasn't sure if it eliminated knockback or that just wasn't a thing.
Nope. If you play it on the regular mode, getting hit will knock you back, which is in these 8-bit games.
It's not easy. It's casual.
That's I'm sorry. That's sorry. You know, that knockback is your one-way ticket to falling down a pit.
Yeah.
Because you're like a bat or a Medusa head
every
hit
time.
And you're going to get knocked backwards and fall down a pit. So, the casual mode eliminates that, which is nice if you just want to play through a game and have fun.
A fun time.
Yeah.
And those boss desperation moves. Oh my god! Almost every boss has a final desperation move that just chews up your life bar like crazy if you're not ready for it.
Yes, it does.
And I am playing in standard mode, unlike you guys, but I haven't gotten to the end. And it is frustrating to get hit and knocked into pits. But also the jumping physics feel identical to 8-bit Castlevania. I mean, they really have nailed that.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's a really, really great game. So,
indeed.
Buy it.
Mm-hmm.
It's out for your beloved Vita.
Right? Huh? Doesn't it have some form of rewind feature? Isn't that the Curse of the Moon option in the menu? I never used it, but it says something like if you want to erase something that went wrong, you use this mode.
Oh, I did not tinker with that. Maybe. Yeah. Huh. That's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Cool. That all you got, Phil?
That's it.
All right, Greg.
I beat Mega Man 2 on the Genesis.
Nice. How much did you rewind? Oh, Genesis.
You can't. Genesis game.
Right.
Hardcore, bitch.
Dang.
Jeez. My goodness.
That was tough. Although I complained about this a lot. I did get it down to pretty much a science there. Again, proving one more time that even in the poorly developed Genesis version, Mega Man games are not too hard. You just need to learn the patterns.
There you go.
But yeah, there were some moments because I was still getting stuck in the Wily Castle stage in some weird spots. And if you watch the the Twitch archive, if I had hair, I would have been pulling it out. I was getting very upset, but but pulled through, so that was great. Played the Sushi Strikers demo. That is charming is the only word I can think of.
Yeah,
for that.
Yep.
I don't know if I like the actual gameplay enough to go out and buy it right away.
Now, we're using touchscreen or
I tried both.
Yeah.
Try both. I feel like touchscreen would be better. Was
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, I can't imagine playing that game with
It
like a D-pad or whatever.
It feels imprecise
Right.
using
Yeah.
but the game's also very forgiving, I find. Like
That's
you know,
true.
if you're with the analog stick, if you're kind of just sort of, you know, pushing in generally the right direction,
No.
you'll be able to select the proper plates when you need to and that sort of thing. So but yeah, I really like the mechanics. So the whole idea is that of course you have like 3 conveyor belts of sushi, or I mean there are more later, but I don't know if you have access to the other ones.
Right.
And the whole idea is that you have to pick sushi that's on similarly colored plates in groups. And once you've selected your first one, you have 7 seconds to select as many of them as you can. And then you collect those, and the plates that you've actually collected pile up in front of you. And then at any time you can fire those plates at your opponent across the table. And then of course you get sushi. What are they called? Sprites? There's a running joke.
Yeah.
There's a running joke that sushi spirits or something. Running joke that they never get the name right in the game. But and then they add, you know, like the one that you get right at the beginning actually changes all your plates to the same color, which means you can fire really huge combos at people and things like that. Really enjoyed it. And like I say, the story around it, oh my god, the writing is fantastic. It's very charming. It's really funny. Sushi is like this mystical
delicacy that's been banned
that this country fought a war over, and the Troubles or whatever they were called. And it's so funny. I highly recommend the demo. If you like the gameplay, I'm sure that's something you'll want to pick up right away. I'm not sure I will, but it's definitely a touchscreen game. You definitely want to play it as a touchscreen game. I think.
It's also a full-priced game, I believe.
Is it really?
Yeah, I think it's like $50.
It's like $50 or.
Is it a Nintendo game? Or...
Yeah, it is a Nintendo game. Yeah.
Crap! So it's never going to be cheap.
Well, never say never, right? Because what was that?
Steam
Steam
World. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not Steam World. Sorry, Codename.
No, Codename Steam. Yeah, which I still have my cheap copy of, which I still haven't opened.
It's a good game with the patch.
Sure it is. I'm sure it is.
Patch.
That was kind of like a Valkyria Chronicles game, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like Sushi Strikers is going to suffer that same fate. So, but anyway, I really liked it. And the other game that I played a bit more of this week was Dad of Boy, which I think I'm like 4 or 5 hours into now. I really enjoy that game. I just got to this like lake area. I feel like I had my first really big God of War moment, where I don't want to say exactly what happens because I'm sure people. Well, yeah, I guess slight spoiler alert. This is pretty early on in the game, but you meet the world serpent. And the only reason I'm saying that it's like Ethan, I think you know.
That's what Kratos calls his dong.
It's a very God of War moment in that the scale of it is crazy.
Yes,
like this thing is just huge. Keep going, Phil.
That's how Kratos describes his dong.
Right.
There you go.
And then the area opens up, and you can go to all these sort of sub tasks that you can do before we're going through the story. There's 2 things in that game that are bugging me right now, and one of them I'm sure has everything to do with the fact that I'm playing it very infrequently. Is the upgrade system. There's way too much going on there for me.
It's definitely too dense for me as well to feel comfortable with.
Yeah, like because you can upgrade, you can craft new armor and weapon, or you can craft new armor. You can upgrade that stuff as well. You can upgrade your weaponry, but then also everything has like rune spots that you can attach runes that you can then upgrade those, and then you want to upgrade boys' armor and weaponry, and it's just like I hit those sections where you can do that, and I kind of just want to, and maybe it exists and I don't see it. I want a button that just says suggested,
auto equipped,
and just let it run. I don't care. Like
I'm with you on that. I always prefer the button that lets you optimize. The biggest issue that I have with the game, and I think it's excellent as everyone else does, but the fact that you are in closer to Kratos' back means that you can't see all around him as you used to before, and now you have to rely on these arrows.
Yeah, the
that
little
tell you-
arrows that turn red. Yeah, not
Yeah,
crazy
and-
about that either.
And I don't think that that's a great solution. Also, it's the fact that you have to have an alternator, like a button, to actually get him to jump, like a shoulder button or dodge rather. That's not as comfortable to me as when you used to be able to just use the right stick to make him dodge roll.
Right. Yeah. That's a good point too. The only other thing too that I have to say, and when I posted that I was playing God of War last night, I actually had a couple people say this on Twitter. He calls his son boy, which is fine. And there's a whole sub plot in here where he has major trouble connecting with his son emotionally. Like that's kind of what the game's about, I think. And there's this unspoken sickness that his son has that hasn't really, I haven't learned what that is yet, but they keep mentioning it. But he calls him boy too much, and it sounds unnatural. Yeah, it's not, again, it's not like a touchy-feely, like I wish he'd call him by name, but it sounds unnatural. Like,
Right.
to the point that he's talking about him to someone else, but he still calls him boy.
Oh,
Like-
too mannered, kind of.
It feels like bad writing.
Is it like in a movie where someone's on the phone and you're only hearing one side of the conversation, and the person on the phone kind of keeps you mean to say we're going to go to the restaurant at 8:00? A lot of like kind of over explaining.
Like there's one scene where you meet a new character and she sends Atreus is his actual name.
Okay.
Out
Is
into
that the kid from Neverending Story?
it is Atreus, isn't it? Do I have that right?
Oh, no, it's
Atreyu.
Atreyu.
Atreyu is
Atreyu,
Neverending
that's
Story.
right. Okay.
And he
It's Jack Black.
sends him out into the garden
That's
to find
Neverending Story 3, Ethan.
to
I'm
find
talking-
Oh.
to find a certain plant, right?
Uh-huh.
And so he's talking to this other Kratos is talking to this other character, and he keeps referencing his son.
Okay.
They keep calling him the boy,
Oh.
boy, and it's like unless this is going to pay off into like he doesn't really know this kid,
All right.
right? Like, or this kid doesn't belong to him. It's gone beyond the point of him being distant to sounding like unnatural dialogue. So again, I know it's weird to get hung up on something like that, but you think that he would, I understand the whole when you're in the heat of the moment, you say like you call him, hey boy, go do this, or
Right,
are you, watch yourself, boy, or something like that. But when you're just in a casual conversation with him or about him, and you're still just calling him the boy,
Right.
it just sounds so weird to me. I
Now,
don't know.
my boy,
Yeah,
it's time for me and my boy to sit down. So go get boy's food so we can come over here.
that's what it feels like.
Okay. Yeah.
So anyway, like I said, I know a really weird thing to get hung up on. It's a really good game. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But
Right.
I'm playing it, and every time I hear it, it's so jarring to me, and it takes me completely out of it because again, I know that the whole emotional distance is a major plot point of this game, but it feels like it's being rammed down your throat so completely.
That's
Well, hey,
what Kratos does with his dog.
That was for you.
Thank you.
With his
The
world tripping.
writing in God of War at least is more subtle than Detroit. I will say that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Detroit has
Mhm.
some moments where they're just so on the nose with what they're trying to communicate.
Actually, you know what? And I have to go back and check this because there was a great heavy rain moment in God of War last night where Atreus runs off, and then you're chasing him, and you're chasing him in like this really heavy dense fog comes in.
Do you have to press a button to yell boy?
Do
What? No. No.
I'm playing it. I'm like, oh my god, this is a heavy rain moment. Like
It's the Jason
I was
moment.
waiting for him to go, Jason. But I think even then he keeps calling out boy.
Press X to boy.
He might say it, but yeah, it was a very heavy rain moment for sure.
Oh
There's
my.
one. I was waiting for him to go, Atreus.
Oh boy.
Anyway,
Yikes.
yeah, boy, exactly.
Oh boy.
Boy, oh boy.
Greg, would you say boy oh boy that's a great game?
Boy, howdy. This is a
There
good
we
game.
go.
Ooh, boy. Anyway, that is what I've been playing.
There
All
you go.
right.
Oh, one thing I wanted to mention too. had a good experience with Nintendo this week, which we all know doesn't happen very often. But I think I mentioned a couple weeks ago that my email address that I used for everything was shut down recently.
Right.
Switch to another address, and so I had done that on my Switch, and it was fine. I could, I changed the address, and it still had my linked Nintendo account, and I could go into the store and I could buy things and download things, and everything was great. But if I went to play any of them, I wasn't allowed to.
Oh.
And I kind of assumed that it was because my actual Nintendo account still had a different address attached to it, which I was partially right. So I went to the accounts.nintendo.com or whatever it is, and I tried to update my email address. Problem is that to do that, Nintendo will send you a confirmation email to the original address.
Of course.
And there's no way around that, right? Which is not uncommon, I've learned. It's not a Nintendo thing. It's not an uncommon thing for something like this to happen.
Right.
So I ended up calling customer service, and they were just like, I don't know. Like she was very helpful, but she was like, what's really weird. It should be working just fine. So she went in and she changed the address for me in my account, and then still nothing was working. She said, like, I'm basically going to do the most, the biggest thing I can do for an account from my chair here, she said, which is basically more or less shut it down and then hope that it comes back when you update the email address.
Tell me that when she said that, she turned in her chair, started yelling, "Shut it down! Well, you gotta shut it all down!" And
it's a Dark City moment. Shut it down forever.
Klaxons started blaring, and
that's exactly what happened.
Emergency lighting came on at the office.
It ended up working, but I guess the thing that exacerbated the problem was because we had to check the serial number on the Switch as well, and it was it's the same Switch I've always had.
Right.
But she said actually what might have happened, because remember I had to send it in for repairs.
Right.
Back. And she said what might have happened is you have the same serial number, but the guts on the inside have been changed enough that there's something tripping it up. So anyway, it ended up working. It was about an hour long thing, but very nice, very helpful. She was great, but it was just like one of those weird things where it's like, oh, okay. I don't like the idea that if I can't access my old email, there's really nothing I can do without calling customer service.
Right.
But anyway, yeah, it turned out fine, but I just wanted to call that out that, it was a bit of a weird thing happening. Like I literally would buy, like I downloaded Sushi Strikers demo just fine. Couldn't play it. Comes up with a warning. You're not allowed to play this because the linked account is wrong or blah, 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 like something. Yeah, it was really weird. Anyway, that's it.
All right. Well, I bet you can't guess what game I've been playing. That's right. Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition.
You mean Hero Warriors?
Hero Warriors, yeah.
H.I. McDonough Warriors.
That's right. Still great, of course. Played a couple more levels. Did the Linkle mission. I did some of the adventure maps and got the young Link in my game.
Very nice.
Like one of the first ones that you can unlock.
Right.
And it's still really fun. It's just a fun game to kind of zone out and play on a plane, which I did.
Yep.
Though, speaking of confusing interface, when you go into the adventure mode and you're trying to figure out like which specific characters you have to use to unlock what, it's kind of arcane and hard to understand, in my opinion.
That is absolutely true.
That's kind of par for the course with any of the Warriors games. They are convoluted at best. And
And I love the fan service in there. I think it's second to none. And for that reason, I might be enjoying it more than the Fire Emblem game. But I do think Fire Emblem Warriors looks a lot better, more polished.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the upgrade to 60 frames a second in docked mode.
That's nice.
That's a great upgrade there. And I'm more partial to the Zelda series. So I like this one more just for that, really. I also picked up the AirFly things from a company called 12 South. It lets you use your AirPods if you have those Bluetooth headphones.
Those are pieces of crap.
Which I have those.
Oh, those things are awesome.
They're great. They're absolutely awesome. And I've wanted to use them with the Switch for a long time. So I bought these things. They're about $40 little dongle thing that you have to charge up actually, and hook into the Switch headphone adapter. And I'm happy to report that it works really well and very minimal lag, sound lag. So I was quite happy with that. Played some Bloodstained Curse of the Moon with it, and it worked out great. And
I was just going to say, on one hand, I'm super excited to hear that, and I saw your tweet on that and thought about investing in those myself. On the other hand, it still irritates me a bit that my old Vita, I can do that natively, no problem.
oh yeah.
And I can't on my newer Switch. That kind of is irritating.
I'm sure part of it comes down to the number of Bluetooth devices that connect to the Switch versus the number that connected to the Vita, which is none. So
Yeah,
with the
that's
Switch,
true.
you have Joy-Con controllers and all kinds of other things. So, and Pro controllers. So they probably wanted to limit that. Who knows? Hopefully, at some point, Nintendo will turn on the Bluetooth audio ability that the Tegra processor apparently has on board, like built in. So they just haven't done that. Hopefully, they'll do that, and then I won't even need the AirFly stuff. And it is something extra that you have to put in your case when you travel. So it's not like a tiny dongle. It does have a little bit of size to it. So it's it's only for people who are extremely into their AirPods, like myself, who want to use them with everything.
What's that thing? What are they called again? The dongle?
It's the AirFly by
Airfly.
12 South.
Airfly.
AirFly. Yeah.
Okay.
No Sea of Thieves this week, CJ?
Well, we're getting to that, Ethan.
Oh, good.
Yeah, the update for Sea of Thieves came out last Tuesday. It's called The Hungering Deep, and they changed the title screen and everything, and it introduces some new items that you can use, including a speaking trumpet, which you can use to talk to other ships from long distances away.
Got my
So
talking trumpet.
it's a talking trumpet, you see. If you can fire a cannonball at them, you can use this horn to
Why
talk
not
to
do
people
both?
on that ship. It's like a
Fire a
loudspeaker. It's
cannonball
like
and just shout 4.
basically, yes. And it also has a drum instrument, which you collect as part of the quest. And then you go fight a giant shark. I don't know if people have seen the videos
The
of
image,
this.
I only saw an image on Twitter and it looked awesome.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge. If you're in a sloop, it's the size
Swallow
of a
it?
sloop.
Yeah.
Might be bigger than a sloop, actually.
So, CJ, I do have a question for you. So, I have this game now downloaded. I've played it for a grand total of 10 minutes, not because I think it's not a good game. It looks
Because you
great.
hate freedom.
No, it's just that I haven't set up to play with anyone, and it doesn't seem like something I'd want to play with strangers. If I jumped into a game with you and Greg as a new player, would I feel like I'd have a lot of catching up to do, or would I be able to be competent and have a good time right off the bat?
You'd be fine.
You'd be fine. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's some nuance. Like, it's jarring to get in there and open a map and have CJ just call out the name of what that island is. That's not
true.
It's not a hit against you so much as it's a hit against CJ because he's not normal. In all honesty, because one of the big things about the game when you start is that you get a treasure map. All you get is the shape of the island. It doesn't tell you what the island is. So then you go to a larger map and try to match that up and figure out where you're going. CJ just knows not only the name of the island, but where it is.
Oh, okay.
And the layout
That's true.
and all that. So
That's true.
it's weird in that CJ has clearly played hundreds of hours of this thing.
It's
But-
got to be over 150 hours at this point.
No, otherwise, I mean, it's very straightforward, and you pick it up really fast, and the actual what you can do in the game hasn't changed
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah,
generally.
okay.
So
Well, CJ,
the learning
put up-
curve is really, really natural. It feels good.
Yeah.
Put
yeah,
up the bat signal. Let me know when you're playing sometime, because I would like to give it a reasonable shake. Would like to see.
I will let you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it would
I'm-
probably be you playing not with CJ and I, but CJ and CJ's friend Mike.
That's possibly true. Yeah. I almost play like every night, every night that I don't have something else going on. Like I don't play on Monday nights because I edit the podcast, but otherwise I'm playing this. And I went through the Hungering Deep quest line today with my friend Mike, of course, and Captain Logan, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah, we beat the giant shark. We found you need 5 players to summon the shark, so you need to cooperate with other crews.
Oh, cool.
Mm.
Just go to the point in the quest and summon the shark. So you have to parlay with at least one other crew.
Why would you want to summon this thing that will just eat you?
For the loot,
Well,
man.
for the quest loot, yeah, exactly.
What do you get? You get some loot for killing it or
You just
something?
said it,
You-
drum. You get a
You
drum.
get-
Oh, okay,
yeah, in the entire quest line has the speaking trumpet, the drum,
that's right.
tattoos, and when you kill the shark, you get a figurehead of the shark. That you can
Oh,
put on your boat.
okay. So it's a pride thing.
So how
It's a
long is
pride
that
thing.
quest going to be available?
Yeah.
So the in-game campaign is running for 2 weeks, and then after that point, the items and the AI threat, the shark, will be in the game as a separate threat from the Kraken, similar
Okay.
to the Kraken, I guess. No one really knows how it's going to work, but it's going to remain in the game, and they're introducing weekly challenges and weekly quests after that point. So-
Neato. Okay.
That's cool.
Interesting.
And I have to second something CJ said on Twitter, which is that Xbox Games Pass is something special. That is really cool. Just
Yes.
I was going to go to the store and pick up State of Decay 2, and it's like, wait a minute, I have that.
You already
for
have
free.
it. That's right. And they just put Mega Man Legacy Collection 2 up there too.
That's
Oh,
great.
very nice.
Play that. And
Yeah.
Legacy Collection 1 is already part of it from the Xbox 360. So yeah, you can play all that stuff. It's a great deal, that Games Pass stuff.
It's pretty nice.
I sure am hoping that E3 gives us a price drop on the Xbox One X, because I have multiple times considered strongly finally getting one, but it's like, but I don't care about getting Madden for free. I
Right.
would rather just wait for a price drop. Do you think we're going to see a drop in price?
Maybe, but I don't know.
Because I'm just hoping like
So
Sony
maybe
announces a
pack-ins,
price
they have
drop,
not
which then
officially done a pack-in with the X yet. There have been like retailer pack-ins, but nothing official.
yeah. Oh, and you didn't mention in your news roundup the delay on Crackdown either.
Oh well, that's only a rumor.
It's totally getting
Amazon-
delayed.
Amazon apparently canceled some orders, but Microsoft is saying that that was some kind of mistake. But
Sure.
Yeah.
sure it is.
Back
Anyway,
bench.
I'm still enjoying the heck out of Sea of Thieves, and some of the other things they introduced with this update are little signal flags that you can set in the crow's nest. So you can fly a white flag if you're pretending to be friendly, or if you actually are friendly, or you can run the Jolly Roger if you want to fight somebody, or they have different patterns on there so you can sort of announce your intentions. That with the speaking trumpet really
That's pretty
helps.
cool, because that's always been the kind of, I mean, I don't know, because it's kind of a fun thing too, where you can kind of double cross somebody, which I guess you can still do.
You can
But
still
it's
do
all-
that, yeah.
It's always you're always kind of like, oh, what's that galleon on the horizon gonna do if we get closer? We better be ready to fight just in case. And
Yeah,
but I mean, it's kind of neat not to know what's gonna happen either,
I agree. Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm still having a ton of fun with it.
or just wave to somebody and shoot them, like
Or
I think
you can do that.
somebody did once.
Somebody did that once. Somebody named Greg Stewart.
Yep.
Why would you do that? So rude.
Anyway, Ethan, I will totally play with you this week or whenever.
Okay.
Play with your world serpent.
Yeah, I would like to do that. Though
We
I
shall
do
see.
wonder one thing. So CJ, like with this game in Friday the 13th, there are certain like kind of service type games that you just super get into, and I think that's very cool. But why is it that Destiny 2 didn't pull you in like those? Seems like it would have.
CJ sucks at first-person shooters.
I think that's what it is.
That?
Partially. I mean, I think what I like about Sea of Thieves and Friday the 13th and Splatoon also is and Overwatch also to an extent is that you are not judged based on your ability to shoot, whereas in Destiny that's kind of the whole point.
Sure.
So I enjoy playing Overwatch because I can be a support character that even if my targeting is not on point, I can still contribute to the team. Same with Splatoon. Friday the 13th, you can be a terrible Jason and still have a lot of fun in the council.
Jason!
Having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So I like that for that. And Sea of Thieves, there's no vertical progression; it's all horizontal. So nobody has a better gun than you, and you really have to know the ins and outs of the games or the mechanics itself to outsmart somebody in that. So I really just appreciate that.
Okay.
Over anything. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly why, but Destiny did not get a hold on me.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. And there's no microtransactions in Sea of Thieves yet. So
yeah, that's cool.
Still all free. Anyway, I think we should do some tweets. Tweet. Let's do this one from Hacker Alias, that one weirdo guy, who says Microsoft seems to have put a lot of their eggs in the Sea of Thieves and State of Decay 2 baskets, which don't seem to be doing as well as they had hoped. Do you think this could be the beginning of the end for Xbox consoles, similar to what happened to Sega?
I've kind of looked at the Xbox One as possibly being that the whole time. Not for the same reasons. I mean, with Sega, the reason was because they were bleeding money and they didn't really have the money to survive that. Microsoft clearly has very deep pockets, but yeah, I mean, for me, it seems like that with Microsoft, the real problem would be is somebody somewhere is finally going to say, like, why are we doing this? Right. It felt like the whole everything playing on Windows or being released day and date on Windows, or if you bought digitally, you get a Windows copy. When they announced that a couple of years ago, to me, that felt like the beginning of something. Not necessarily thinking that decision had been made at that point, but it felt like hedging at that point, which, and it might still be, but it felt like they were getting ready just in case, Xbox isn't going to be a thing after a while. It's same thing with turning it all into like branding everything as Xbox on Windows as well. Like it just feels like they're ready to flip that switch if they have to.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. I think they're sort of in their Wii U period now, where they're, like Nintendo with the Wii U. Nintendo built a lot of little franchises and games that they could then bring to Switch. And I think similarly, Microsoft is building up Game Pass and games like Sea of Thieves and State of Decay 2, which, okay, they're not going to move a lot of units of Xbox hardware, but who knows, like when the next thing comes out and they have Minecraft and Sea of Thieves and State of Decay 2 with a bunch of enhancements and a bunch of, years worth of content work that has gone into those. And you're looking at games with gold and Game Pass, like suddenly it's a pretty strong effort, especially when you look at the backward compatibility work that Microsoft has been doing recently. And they've basically been updating that every week with new games. And I just got updates for Geometry Wars and Hexic HD. So, I mean, they're doing they're putting in a lot of work there. Who knows if it'll pay off or who knows what they're sort of building to. They have Mixer, which, of course, I would say struggles to get viewers, but the platform itself is pretty strong and has some neat ideas.
The tech seems good.
The tech seems good. So to me, it seems like they're just kind of building all that stuff up. They're sort of putting their troops on the border and getting ready for whatever comes next, whether that is another Xbox machine or whatever.
Somebody in the chat there, Hacker Alias TFX God, just said Xbox turning into branded pre-built PCs. That's definitely a possibility too.
I don't see that. I honestly do think that they're going to have at least one more go, and I think that go is where they're going to be set up to be very successful, just like Nintendo with the Wii U to Switch, because I think that there are a lot of lessons learned from this generation. And I think that we've seen them make a lot of the right decisions in the later part of the Xbox One lifecycle. I think the Xbox One X is great. I think that the Games Pass is terrific. I think that Phil Spencer deeply understands the needs and interests of core gamers. And I think if they bring all that to bear on a brand new platform and get a chance to just start over again, that's actually a very strong position for them. Further, I think that we've seen that core gamer audience that likes to buy these premium games they haven't gone anywhere, right? The traditional Xbox audience is still a strong audience. And I think that there's a lot of chance for success. People are not necessarily strictly loyal to one platform over the other when a generation changes.
Yeah. And I think they have been, if the next machine is backwards compatible with the Xbox One, which I can't imagine why it wouldn't be
at this point.
Yeah. I mean, just offering Game Pass, like this $10 a month thing where you get a huge library of games.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be extremely attractive to people, depending on what Sony does. I mean, Sony has not paid any attention to backwards compatibility at all. And
I think they will next generation too, though.
Yeah, but they're going to have Microsoft has a huge
I know they're behind, but I'm just saying I think it'll be a big thing for both of them next gen.
It could be. Yeah.
Yeah, I think though still your problem is that the PS3, as I understand it, is kind of like a Saturn scenario where it's just harder to emulate.
Yeah.
Whereas the Xbox is more of a PC architecture, so that's easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, they'll be behind, but I think it's going to be a major battleground for the next round of consoles.
Totally.
Yeah.
All right, let's finish up with this one from Hacker Alias Jason Whitman, who says, any interest in the new Atari VCS? I was skeptical at first, but the latest videos and Tempest 4000 included are pretty compelling.
Explain to me what the latest videos have shown.
Well, I don't know that.
I'm just waiting for Tommy Tallarico's television.
What's that?
Oh yeah, Tommy Tallarico is bringing back in television.
That is true. Which, yeesh.
I mean, it's going to be a micro console, right?
I wonder why.
Well,
I know why. That Intellivision brand that everybody remembers.
No, I mean, the 2600 microcon or and Nintendo doing all that. There's absolutely a reason why.
I'm hesitant to give Atari any money.
Yeah, that to me it seems so shady.
It's not the Atari of old. It's
a new Atari that seems shady.
Exactly. Yeah.
And Tempest 4000 being included is cool, but that is also coming out on other systems that I would rather play it on and rather not have to hook another thing to my television.
It's cool in a Nuon is cool kind of way.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's also what? How much is it?
It's like $200 or
$200.
It's not cheap. It's not cheap.
I still don't even know what it is.
It's
like a Linux console or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like a Steam box. But the look of it, the design is cool.
I'm recording this on my Steam box.
Well, the design of Ouya was cool too.
Oh yeah.
This really does feel like it gives me Ouya vibes.
Yeah.
That's what I get reading the campaign, seeing the videos and everything. I'm just like, this feels like Ouya, but they slapped on an Atari name because
And see, the thing is that even if something really great comes out on, like something comes out exclusively on it, if the machine doesn't take off, it'll show up somewhere else.
Well, yeah, of course.
All you gotta do is be patient.
That's true.
So, I don't know. And the 2600 classic system, to be sure, but just like the idea of playing Yar's Revenge is not enough to kind of get me nostalgic enough to start throwing money at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, I obviously have fond memories of the Atari 2600, but games have progressed so much since then that there's like knowing that, obviously this does other stuff. This isn't just like a 2600, but like, you see their, the campaign and stuff. The screen is littered with pictures of old Atari games, and it's just like that's not enough anymore to trigger the nostalgia.
I don't know if it comes with good paddle controllers. I might be in.
You know what? I don't think
that's the only problem.
There are no paddle controllers.
Not paddle controllers. No, it comes with the classic style joystick.
I was trying to play Kaboom the other day.
Yeah,
and that is impossible to play without a paddle controller.
You need paddle controllers.
Such a good game, though. Speaking of which, by the way, 2600.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to call out. It's a YouTube channel that they don't have a lot of subscribers yet, but they absolutely deserve them. Called Atari Archive.
Yeah.
Which is basically doing the same thing that it's a cron gaming series for the 2600. but really, they've only got 9 episodes right now. Really super interesting because, of course, it starts way back in '77, and so it starts with combat basically. But he puts a lot of effort into his shows and a lot of research and some really cool stuff in there, especially when you start talking about like the telegames or whatever it was called, console as well, and all that sort of thing. Highly recommended. I'll get CJ to put the link in the show notes. But this channel deserves way more views than it's getting. So
that's cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Subscribe. I just subscribed.
There you go.
Atari Archives, you said?
Atari Archive.
Yeah.
Archive, singular.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they have 9 videos up right now.
Yeah.
So
Like I'd actually never heard of the one that they just did was called Surround, which is basically Snake, like a 2-player Snake.
Yeah.
I'd never even heard of it.
It's like the Tron Light Cycles, basically.
It's exactly Tron Light Cycles. Yeah.
Oh, you never played Surround back in the day for the Atari?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Never did.
That's just I don't know if like one of my uncles had it or something. So
right. See, but that's the thing. I think for me that the reason why I like it so much is, I mean, we had a 2600 and we had some games like everybody had Combat. I'm crazy familiar with Combat and Air Sea Battle and that, but not really super familiar with a lot of the stuff, especially from the late 70s, because I mean, I was 3 or 4,
Right.
And so by the time I was really into 2600, it was games that basically relatives had, my stepfather had a bunch of 2600 games. So I was familiar with the ones he had, but there was 1,000 games for that thing, I think. Like, I didn't play all of them. So definitely
I just
stirs up the nostalgia.
I'm just, I'm on YouTube here, having just subscribed to Atari Archive. You're knocking on 4,000 subscribers.
I've been sitting there for a long time.
Really?
Yeah.
Generation 16. Yeah, we got to get that rounded off there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe start making better videos.
By the way, the Atari VCS is $300.
Well, no, that's for like
collector's
the wood
edition.
That's the wood paneled one.
Oh, well, that's
right. Okay, it's $199 for the non-wood paneled.
Yes. You're paying an extra $100 for a little strip of and in its defense, I believe it's actual wood. I don't think it's just like a
plastic
sticker or something. Yeah. But I believe it is an actual sliver of wood paneling on the front there. But
real wood front panel.
There you go. See,
still not getting it. No. Tempted, but no.
That could go with your Xbox 360 with its wood panel faceplate.
I do. I have that.
You really?
I remember that thing.
Wood panel faceplate. Yes.
Beautiful.
It's great.
Beautiful.
Alrighty, and that is our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you have a question for us or would like to comment on something you heard, you can direct that to @P1 Podcast on the Twitter, or you can go to our internet website at player1podcast.com. There you'll find our contact information. You'll find blog entries about Sega CD stuff from Mr. Greg Seward that he wrote a long time ago, so don't count it against him or anything like that. Generation 16 episodes as well.
Yep, I'm definitely going to have that out in the next couple weeks.
Nice.
Cool. And you'll find show notes and links to the things that we talked about in this episode. You can just do player1podcast.com/ and then whatever episode number, and you can get to the show notes for that particular episode. It's so convenient. Why aren't you doing it right now?
Sounds very simple from the way you described it.
I know, right?
Yeah,
exactly. We have also got what have we got? We got one of them Discord.
We have.
On our Twitter profile, you can find the link to our Discord and talk about video games and stuff with us. That Onrush game comes out this week, so I'm sure the racing video game channel in our Discord will be very active talking about Onrush. Maybe.
Don't look at me. I won't be talking about it. I don't know.
I will be. Because I'll be playing that.
Okay.
And what we got on our website, we also have a message board where you can discuss this episode with us and our other listeners.
If you'd like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting player1podcast.com or by going to Apple's podcast application. You can also head over to the App Store, the Apple App Store, and invest $1.99.
Cheap.
In the Player One Podcast iPhone application. Gives you one-touch communication with us via the emails, the Twitters, the what have you. You also have all of our episodes ready to stream right to your listening device. And hell, Android cell phone, telephone users. Do you like that one, Greg?
That was a weird one.
Yeah, I got a little squeaky.
Yeah.
Player One Podcast live from the application is available for users and devices for that same $1.99.
Also cheap.
Yeah, so you can find that right over there at the Amazon Android Marketplace or on Stitcher Radio. You can like us on Facebook. You can check us out live, along with archives of our past episodes on the youtubes.com/P1 podcast. Just follow our Twitter account, find out when we'll be broadcasting our next live show. And if you've liked what you've heard, and how could you can head over to patreon.com/P1 podcast. You can throw a few shekels our way. It helps keep CJ. What does it do for CJ? I don't know. CJ steals your money.
Not true. Not true at all.
All true.
I certainly don't see any of it, so I don't know where it goes.
Wait, Phil, he's
Yes?
not been paying you? The time that I was on, it was like $75,000 a year. It was not like something I could live off of.
Well, you're probably still getting severance. I think didn't he offer you 6 months of severance after? Oh my goodness. No, I get nothing.
That's
I don't
Ethan's back to refill the coffers.
That's right. Yeah.
I don't even get a free pin.
Oh,
Because
man.
That's true.
I was looking. I still have a few left in my bag of pins.
yes, hey, Greg, maybe I could get you to mail one to me, but I can. Yeah. So Patreon. Hey, and as a special bonus, if you are a Patreon patron at the $5 or higher tier, you gain special access to an exclusive bonus show, a post show where the shirts come off and things get a little more exciting. We do one of those every week now. So if you like hearing CJ try and stump Greg and myself with obscure video game trivia, then there you go.
Yeah.
Please be looking forward to that. Hey, and if you have a couple bucks left over, head over to generation-16.com where you will find a Patreon link to help support Greg Stewart's seriously, legitimately, really quite good. And we all know that I don't like complimenting Greg, but at this, my hand has been forced here because it's just that good. Generation 16, the web series about North America's favorite second banana, Sega Genesis.
Thanks, Phil.
Yeah. Would you say that you are now going to be using the freshly released Sega Genesis Classics collection to capture all your footage?
Not a chance.
Okay, well that's too
All
bad.
that hardware back there is what I use.
Yes, in your glass case. How many more episodes till we get to Mario Lemieux hockey, Greg?
I don't know. It was released in 91, and I'm in December of 1990 right now, so it'll be sometime in the near-ish future.
I'm impressed that you had the release year for Mario Lemieux hockey right there.
Oh, baby, I know.
That's
Don't you worry about me, sweetie.
Man.
I got it.
he doesn't remember his own children's birthdays, but he certainly knows.
My youngest turned 6 this week.
Oh my gosh!
Just had
Happy
our party
birthday!
today.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm.
Happy birthday! And yeah, that's that. Oh hey, if you like the Player One podcast, and there's no reason to.
Why would you?
But you know what? Also, at the same time, there's no reason not to. But if you like us, if you like the show, and if you want to hang out in CJ's favorite vacation spot, Las Vegas, Nevada, get ready. This October, we have been invited back to Scoop Fest from the good folks at Matt Mattingly's Ice Cream Social, the hilarious comedy podcast that CJ was on earlier this past week.
Indeed. And you should be listening to it because it's hilarious.
Well, yeah, I mean, even don't let CJ's presence on the show.
No,
I know.
that episode was kind of
Me on
weak,
it,
but
they
it's
were
still a
still
good
funny.
show.
Yeah.
Because don't worry, CJ's not always on. So it's
True.
but yeah, we're going to be in Vegas from October 11th through the 14th. Scoop Fest on the 11th. There's a special VIP night where we're going to be going to the Tournament of Kings at the Excalibur, and just live podcasts, live comedy, improv, dancing, singing, snacking, gaming, all sorts of awesome good times in Vegas. I guess gambling. I guess you can do some of that in Vegas too. But yeah, come on out. Head over to heyscoops.com/scoopfestvegas. You'll find all the information to get your tickets there. We have early bird tickets on sale now. It's going to be outstanding. And if you book your hotel at the Orleans Hotel and Casino, we have a coupon code that will get you a nice discount on your room. That coupon code, CJ, is AAICC10. So there you go. We look forward to seeing everyone at Scoop Fest because it's going to be friggin' fantastic.
Totally.
CJ,
Yeah.
thank you so much for scouting out Vegas this past week.
Hey, no problem.
So we know where we're gonna stay, what we're gonna do in Vegas.
Yep.
Gregory,
Yo.
thank you for that thing.
What I do? Listen, I
Go
want
ahead.
to plug one more thing here.
Yeah,
Because
please.
this weekend was the IWK telethon here in Halifax, Nova Scotia, which is the same hospital that I raised money for through Extra Life. I just
Nice.
wanted to call out that so far this year we've raised just over $1,600 for the IWK through my Twitch channel mainly,
Nice.
through Extra Life. And in the interest of getting those numbers up even higher, I'm now going to be streaming 3 nights a week
Oh man.
starting this week. So actually, by the time you hear this, if you're not watching it on YouTube, we'll already be in the second night of the week. Monday nights, adventure games. Played some King's Quest 6 on the stream a couple weeks ago, and I really love the whole thought of getting constantly stuck in adventure games the way I do, and having a nice group of people there to throw out suggestions and help me out rather than using FAQ. So every Monday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, adventure games. Every Tuesday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, retro games. Right now, we're going through Wily Wars on the Genesis, and we're going to get back into Mega Man Legacy Collection 2 after that. Every Thursday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, donor request night, which is to say anyone who donates to Extra Life or subscribes to the channel, because every bit of revenue from the channel goes to Extra Life, you get to pick a game for me to stream on one of those Thursday nights. So please come check it out. Twitch.tv/Sewart. And yeah.
So it's
We've raised a lot of money.
Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays.
Yes.
Okay, so Monday's Adventure Night, Tuesday Retro Night, Thursday then will be Crappy Games Night.
Not always.
Oh, really?
Usually,
Oh, okay.
people usually request some good stuff.
I
There's
figured
a lot
just
of Konami stuff coming up in the next few
Oh,
weeks,
nice.
actually.
see, I just figured that anyone donating would force you to play terrible games because that's what I would do.
My own. And I don't own terrible games.
Hmm.
You're right, I do. Anyway, I just wanted to
Yes.
plug that.
Awesome. Yes, and that's 1,600 so far this year.
So far this year, yeah.
Nice. Very nice. And of course, super special extra through the roof. Thanks to our good friend, our returning fourth chair. Ethan got lost in the woods several
That's
months
right.
ago. He's recently clawed his way out back to civilization. Ethan Einhorn, thank you so much for coming on, my friend.
Yeah. Hey, guys. Thanks a lot for having me. It's been a lot of fun. Really a great time to catch up and appreciate you having me back for a little bit here.
And you, well, like you said, you have something kind of going on that you're not ready to talk about right now, but you were on the Power Pros podcast this past week, right?
Yeah. It's been a good week for podcasting for me because not only was I on Chris Hoffman's Power Pros, which is
Right.
all Nintendo Switch all the time. Also, I was on the Media Juice podcast, Jeremy Sneed's podcast. Got a chance to talk about my time at Sega and what I'm doing over at NVIDIA. So that was fun as well.
Nice.
And that came out last week. So yeah, it's been a good time for podcasting.
So anyone who's needs a little more Ethan in their life, there's
Who
a few
doesn't?
more. There's a few more outlets to get some of the good stuff.
Yeah.
To get some of Big Red, we call him. You need a little more Big Red in your life. There he goes. But no, Ethan, thank you so much. It's great to have you back.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
and we will see everyone next week.
Bye-bye.
Toodles.
Bye.
Toodles. Don't stop recording.
Don't
Oh,
stop.
wait, Ethan's not recording, is he?
He
I am
is.
recording.
Oh, you are recording. Okay.